Hello everybody, it's Wendy, and today we're going to make a very minimalist necklace using some products from Sam's Bead Box for January 2022. But first, our encouraging word for today is live more, worry less. And this is a great thing to live by. My grandmother was a worrier, and I watched her make herself sick over nothing, over things she couldn't change just for worrying. So I learned at a young age that worrying doesn't accomplish anything. So live more, worry less. That's a great card to live by, I think. All right. So Sam's Bead Box this month was fantastic, I've got to say. And I absolutely loved these little phases of the moon charms. I thought these were so cute. So you've got your full moon, you've got your half moon, and you've got your crescent moon. Okay, one on, and they go full, half crescent, crescent, half full. And so they're so cute. And I wanted to do something with them, but I wanted to do something very simple because they're so delicate and so pretty. Okay, so if you have your Sam's Bead Box, you're going to need these moon charms, and you're going to need 2, 4, 6 little rings. These are 8mm. They're closed rings. I don't even know where I got these. I've had them for a while, probably off of Amazon or something. But if you just Google closed jump rings, you can find some just like it. You can use regular jump rings or any rings you have, actually. But I'm just using these. They're kind of a twisty wire. Whoops. Kind of a twisty. You can see that little twisty wire, so I'm using those. I have a regular, a bigger ring here. This is, let me see what millimeter that is. I'd say 10 or 12. Nope, it's bigger. It's 14. So this is a 14mm. Let me make sure these are 8. Yeah, they are. Okay, so 14mm ring in the middle, and then some 8mm rings on the sides. Okay. You're going to need, I have a couple of oval jump rings here. This is to clasp onto this bigger piece, this bigger ring. And I'm going to try them. They may not work. I may have to get a bigger jump ring for this. But I want to go as small as I possibly can. So I'm going to try those. And then I have some very tiny. These are 2mm or 3, probably 3. These are probably 3mm little jump rings. And we're not going to need nearly that many, but I just grabbed a little pinch full out. But we're going to be hooking these together with them, and I just want them to be very non-obtrusive, so they're very tiny. Then we're going to be using 6 of these really pretty vitral. These are like a blue vitral check glass druck. These are gorgeous. They're half silver. We're going to be using 6 of those. We are using a lobster clasp. We are using 4 clamshell connectors and 4 crimp beads. And then I've got 6 eye pins here and a length of Coriana chain. And this is the bright silver, okay? I'm not sure how long I'm going to make this. Not very long, but I haven't cut the chain yet. I just have a big piece, and we'll cut it here in a minute. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make these little links that are going to go in between our little phase of the moon, and they're very simple, okay?
Mail has arrived.
Oh, the mail's here. I'll go check that after I'm done with this video. So let me move these out of the way, all these out of the way. We're just going to make our little links first, okay? So my tools are actually Xuron. See that?
Mail has arrived.
Oh, he opened it twice. Okay. Xuron, Xuron tools. Everybody always asks, so I'm just going to say it. So we're going to take our eye pin, we're going to put our bead on, and I know these eye pins are long, but that's all I have. I don't have any shorter eye pins in silver, so we're going to bend this at 90 degrees. I do save the pieces that I cut off, though, for other things. We are going to cut it, and I like to make my loops fairly small, especially on something like this that is supposed to be minimal. Let me grab my round nose pliers, and we're just going to roll back a small loop here. I'm trying to keep the loop about the same size as the other end. I mean, you want it to kind of match, but I just don't want to go very big. And then I'm going to take this and hold this loop, and I'm going to take my other plier, and I'm going to twist them to where they are both facing the same direction, just like that. And we're going to make 5 more of these little connectors. Sam's box this month was incredible. If you want to subscribe, it is $39 a month. It is all check glass and gemstone. And I have a coupon code. It is Wendy ! And that will get you $5 off of your first box, which is a great deal. Okay, there's our next one. Oh, I forgot to twist him. Okay, number 3 here. But the thing that makes Sam's box different than other boxes is, I've found anyway, this is my opinion, I think that he uses several different colors in his box, but he has a segue color, if you will say it that way. That's the way I kind of think of it as. So if he puts pink and purple in the box, then he has a bead in there that is a mix, kind of like maybe a fuchsia, which is a mix of pink and purple, or something like that. And so you don't really have, like a lot of boxes that we get will have all one color bead, you know, they'll 15 beads that are 15 different kinds of beads, and they're all red or a shade of red, and then they'll stick something like, I don't know, something crazy in there, like neon orange, or, you know, something that does not go with red. And I'm like, wait a minute, that does not match at all. And there's really no way that you can use it with the other beads. I found that to be a thing in a lot of the bead boxes, but Sam's box is never like that. His colors always will blend somehow, and I really like that. It makes the box so easy to work with. I struggle with some of these other ones sometimes, just trying to, and I know that people will say, well, they don't have to all match. I get that, but if it's a curated box, you kind of expect them all to coordinate a little bit, you know? So that's my opinion. I know it's not everybody's, and that's fine. But I really like Sam's box. That's the point I was trying to make, because it just, everything just blends so well. And there's always a segue color. You can mix, you know, you can put your purple and your pink, even though I would do purple and pink anyway. I'm just using that as an example. You can put your purple and your pink together, because there will be like a segue bead, like a fuchsia or something like that. He's really, really great at curating that way. So gotta give it to Sam. Okay, so here we have all of our loops, and I did a horrible job with this little guy right here. Huh. It's a terrible loop. Hopefully it'll be okay. All right, so we've got our little links right here. I am going to use jump rings, and I'm going to hook all of the rings together now with the links, okay? And where are my 2 bigger jump rings? Okay, so what I want to do, let me put my glasses on so I can see. All right. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to take the bigger oval jump rings here, and I am going to go ahead and hook them right on here. I'm probably going to have to get bigger rings. I really don't want to, though. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, if they do, it's barely. Let's see here. Maybe it will. I don't want it to get bound up. Well, maybe it will. Might have just enough room. We'll see here. No, it's not going to close. Okay, I got to get a little bigger ring out of there. And I didn't really want to use bigger ones, but I'm going to have to for this, just because this ring is kind of thick. So I do have some other oval jump rings here. Let me see if I have 2 that are not humongous that will work. Here's the next size up, I think. I really do want to make this the rings and stuff very minimal. I don't like them. I feel like they take away sometimes from the beauty of the beads. But it wasn't going to work with the other one, so we'll try this one. Okay, so we got our little ring on here. Yeah, this will work. And I'm just going to take my little bead connector and put it right on here. And close this right up. Yeah, that works. It's not too bad, not too noticeable. Kind of blends in with the silver on the ring, I guess. Same thing on the other side. There we go. Try to get them closed up good. Okay. So here's our little middle piece. Now we're just going to hook our connectors and our rings until we have all 6 on here. So ring, connector, and then I have rings for the edges. And if I would scoot this down, it'd be better, wouldn't it? Okay, so I am doing this with these little jump rings. I just feel like it, on bracelet or necklaces like this, I feel like it gives things movement, makes them lay a little bit better when you put them together with a jump ring. And that's my own personal preference. You don't have to do that. You can just hook the link right onto the connector if you want, but I just kind of like to use a tiny jump ring if I can. Make sure all your connections are closed up real good. Okay, next one on here. It was supposed to start snowing today in North Carolina, but in Fayetteville, but it never did. So everybody was freaking out. They'd canceled school, they'd sent the military home. Churches have canceled for Sunday already. And we didn't get it. Nothing. Not even a flake in the sky. I just have to laugh because back in West Virginia, I mean, I remember going to school. The school bus would come and pick us up with chains on the tires. I mean, they did not cancel school unless now they do. Now they're wimpier. But back when I was a kid, they did not do that. I mean, you had to get out and go to school, whether it was 10 feet of snow or, well, maybe not 10. That might be a bit of an exaggeration, but they honestly did bring the school bus up our road with chains on the tires. So, yeah, we didn't get out of school, especially not just for a forecast of possibly snow. It had to actually snow. So, I don't know. I guess everybody's suing somebody these days, so the schools are afraid. I can't say I blame them. And we're going to scoot this little guy right on here. But I was kind of laughing because, you know, those stories. I walked to school in 10 feet of, well, we didn't walk to school in 10 feet of snow, but we sure did ride to school on the bus sometimes in some serious snow. And we went up big hills too. I mean, West Virginia is very mountainous, so it wasn't like you're on all these flat roads going to school. It was kind of scary sometimes on those school buses. There we go. So there's one half. It's turning out pretty, I think. It is very delicate. That's what I want. And I like this bright silver. And that one is not closed all the way. He's going to come loose. There we go. And Sam, that does this box, is such a sweet person. I've only talked to him a couple times, like on Facebook, through Messenger and stuff, but he's just so sweet. I just, you know, there are people in your life that you think, I would like to know that person in real life. And Sam is one of those people that I would like to meet, you know, in real life. I don't know that we ever will because, well, maybe we'll end up at a bead show together or something, but, you know, some people you never do meet. I've made lots of friends on YouTube that I would love to meet that I don't know that I'll ever get to, but it sure would be cool. A lot of my subscribers are in Florida, I'm finding out, so I really may get to meet, you know, some people down there. I think that would be super cool. Robbie lives in Florida, and Violet lives in Florida. I won't say your all's last names, but I I would love to get together with them. There's several. Nadine, you're in Florida, I know. And who else? I'm sorry if I don't name you off right now. I just am a little scattered in my thinking. But I know a lot of people in Florida, and I would love to, maybe when we move down there, be able to get together with some people. That would be so much fun. I think Kara, did you tell me you're in Florida? I think she did. So yeah, that makes it something to look forward to for me to move down there. We actually had the realtor come yesterday and look at our house, so it's probably really going to happen. If we can find a house down there, that's the thing. So if anybody knows, we're wanting to move about 45 minutes outside of Orlando. I don't care what direction. I mean, I would love to be toward the beach, obviously, the coast, but Florida's kind of a coast on either side. So, but I don't even really know what towns are in that radius. I've kind of looked on the map a little, but I don't know. Help me out, anybody. If you can name me the Florida people, 45 minutes outside of Orlando to an hour outside. What are some of the small towns around there that we can look for houses in? It's hard to move somewhere when you know nothing about that area. That's one thing that is kind of hard. Okay, so here we have all of our little connections made. And I'm going to take my phases of the moon here, little charms, and I'm just going to hang them one from each ring. I'm facing the two half moons, I'm facing them towards each other. And then the two crescent moons I will face towards each other. Just like that. Okay, and then of course the full moon's in the middle. So I'm just gonna, again, I'm using these tiny jump rings, except for that one. I am gonna have to use the bigger jump ring because of the thick ring, but that's okay. So I'm just gonna go ahead and hang this full moon right on here. Okay, and I hope these hang the right way. Let me check it. No, daggone it, it's not. See, I always have to try it out. Like, I can't picture it in my head for some reason. It's bizarre, but I just can't envision the way the loops are going to go. I just have to do it and then figure out that it's wrong. So we got to close this jump ring up, and we're going to have to add a smaller jump ring onto it to make our moon hang correctly. And we'll have to do that with all of them, I'm sure. I think. Again, I can't just envision it for some reason. That's awful. I have trouble with abstract things sometimes, like movies that do time travel. Like, I just can't, I don't know, I can't just can't comprehend it very well. There are certain movies or shows that, you know, there's some kind of time travel element, and I just don't ever get them. I'm like, I can't eat, my brain doesn't work that way. All right, so if the ring is that way, and I put this ring on this way, yeah, it's gonna hang wrong. So it's gonna have two little jump rings to hang it. So let's put one on. And one more. I'm sorry if you just heard that great roaring noise. That is our garage door. Chris just got back. Okay, now I want it to hang facing my other moon. So let's put it on this way and see if this is right. Oh gosh, I just dropped it off of there, didn't I? I may have to turn it around. I may have put it back on the wrong way. Let's look and see. How much you want to bet? I've got it on wrong. I would bet money. Yep. I think I do. No, maybe I don't. Nope, I don't. It is on there the right way. It's a miracle. Okay, let's do this one over here. This is kind of fiddly little work here, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and hook this ring to this ring and hang them from this ring, and then I will put the charm on. It's a little easier that way to get the charm on the right way. And one thing that you have to do too is just make sure all your rings, when you're putting them on, that they're laying flat here. See, this guy might be... Actually, I can't tell if he's facing the right way or not. I'm just going to have to, when I get the whole thing together, I may have to switch some of them around. It's always hard when you're doing these little connections like this. I think I do have him wrong. So, we'll see here in a minute. Okay, this one. And really, I mean, it's not a huge deal. They're probably going to kind of move around anyway when you're wearing them. So, I don't know that it's a big deal, but I'm going to try to get them on facing the right direction. These little tiny jump rings or something. Okay. So it's important that they're twisted the right way. You want them all hanging on the bottom part of the ring, and you kind of want the rings to lay that way. So we may have to do some twisting on these little connections too, just to make sure that everything lays right when we get the chain on and pick the whole thing up. But for now, I'm just going to get them on here, and then we'll adjust it if we need to. We'll put our last little pieces on our crescents. These jump rings are so tiny. It really is a little bit fiddly to work with them. But I love them. I think they're so cute. And they just don't detract too much from your work, from your beads. Chris just went and got a pizza. I can hear him on the phone downstairs. They must have got it wrong or something. He's like, I ordered something, and I hate that when you go pick up food or something and you get home and it's wrong. Probably the other person who got his order hates it too. Okay. All right, now, for some reason, this one is twisting in ways that I really don't want it to twist. So these two are facing that way, and those two are. So why is it wanting to turn? Okay, I'll have to fool with it here in a second. So let me get the little crescents on. Okay, there's one. I may have to flip that onto the bottom. That might be the problem with that one. It's kind of, for some reason, that ring is wanting to flip up. Oh, I don't need to add another jump ring. I just need to put this guy on. Okay. All right, let's take a look. Yeah, everything's hanging really well, except for that one. And I'm gonna have to fix it somehow. So I think that this actually just needs, these need to turn. This one seems to need to twist that way a little bit. Let's see if that helped it. That helped a little. okay? Maybe, yeah, when it hangs like this, I think it's going to be good. All right, so we're going to go ahead and hook on now. I do need to turn the charm, though. The charm I do have on backwards. I knew I did. So let me flip it. You just flip the charm around on here. Okay. Needs to go this way. It's fiddly, fiddly little bits. So delicate, though, and pretty. All right. Okay, so let's get it right. Here we go. All right, perfect. Now we're just going to attach our Coriana chain. So this is where you need to decide how long you want to cut your chain. For me, I like this kind of a necklace to lay up around my collarbone, or just a tad bit longer than my collarbone. So for that, I have 27-inch total in chain, so you would half that. And you would have like 12 and a half. I'll probably do 12 and a half on each side because I want this one to not hang down. I want it to be pretty short, okay? So if I do 12 and a half inches on each side, actually I might do 12 inches on each side because I need to account for this. So how long are these? This is 3 inches. So, yeah, probably going to do 11. I really don't want this to be really long, so I'm going to do 11 inches on each side. I always end up making them too long. So I'm going to do 11 on this side. That still may be too long. Let me measure how long that is. That's actually 12, about 14 inches per side, which would be 28. So yeah, I'm going to take another inch off. Let me just keep that piece, and I'm going to do 10. Actually, I'm going to do 9.5. I'm going to be real safe. I'm going to do 9.5 inches. So 9.5 inches per side will be good for me, I think. So just cut your chain. And that's totally up to your own preference, how long you want it to be. But I don't want this to be real long. I want it to hang kind of up near my collarbone. So what we're going to do to attach this is we've got our little clamshells and we have our crimp beads. So I'm going to take my crimp bead and put it right on the end of my chain. Now the clamshells that I usually use, you feed your chain up through the bottom. But this is a side one, so you don't do that on this one. You're just going to put your crimp on and crimp it. You can use your cheapo crimps for this because all they are is a placeholder for your clamshell to keep everything connected. They're not really for looks, you know, they're going to be covered up. So you can use your cheap ones for this. Save your good ones for other things. Things that show where they're not covered by the little clamshell cover. Alright, then we're going to put our other one on here. Just like this. Take our clamshell, put him right in the middle, and close it right up. Just like that. And then we're just going to take our tiny jump rings and we're going to hook the clamshell right onto the ring here. Just like this, and close it up really good. Okay, there's one. Do our other side. Okay. And then we'll do our lobster up here on the top. Same thing. We've got our little crimp beads and our clamshells. We're just going to put the crimp bead on the end here. Right like this. Put this little cover over and just close it right up on top of there. Got my little, there we go, had my chain in there crooked. There we go. Same thing on the other side. Oops. Always tug on it just to make sure it's secure on there. And you can put a little glue in here if you want to. Little E6000 or GS Hypo Cement, whatever. There we go. So now we're just going to hook our lobster on, and I'm probably going to do it with these two oval jump rings that I was going to use for the big ring down there, just because they're a little sturdier than the little tiny ones there. I don't want to make a major connection really like this with the tiny ones. And you could double jump ring it if you wanted, even down here on that connection. You could put two jump rings, or a split ring. A split ring would be good too. But I'm just going to use these up here. And just put one on here for the lobster to clasp to. You can put an extender on this if you want. I don't think I need one on mine, but you could if you wanted to, or if you were making it for somebody else and you don't really know how they like to wear their necklaces. And there it is. So that'll clasp right on like that. And here is our very delicate and minimal little necklace. So I think it turned out super cute. I'm going to put it on a form and make sure everything's hanging right here, and I'll be right back to show it to you. Okay, so here it is, our little phases of the moon necklace, and I think it turned out really cute. The camera really has trouble picking this up for some reason, but there's the little charms. It's very minimal, very delicate, and I like the way it turned out. So I will have all the information for Sam's Bead Box in the description box below. If you're interested in subscribing, you can check it out there, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!